In our recent videos, we spoke about functional and non-functional testing, which was mainly to differentiate between what a system does and how a system behaves. And we also categorized the different levels of testing into that. But yes, there was something which was remaining to be covered into these two categories. And they do not fall under these two categories of functional and non-functional. And they are called as retesting and regression testing. So let's talk a little more about that and why they do not fall under functional and non-functional. Hello team and greetings for the day. Welcome back to another episode of Testing in Nutshell. This is Neeraj Kumar Singh and today we are talking about retesting and regression testing. In previous videos, we have covered a lot of levels of testing and understanding between that how they can be categorized in functional as well as non-functional testing. But there is something which cannot be categorized under either functional or non-functional category. And that's what we call it as retesting or regression testing. We can also say that retesting and regression testing. Where retesting is actually, or putting it all together, retesting and regression testing are actually maintenance testing. Now, what do we call it as maintenance testing here? We will have a separate video talking more about maintenance testing in detail, but here it means that it's not a specific type of testing with a kind of keen objective, just like any other functional and non-functional testing levels. But here, it follows any type of testing. For example, if you were conducting unit testing, you got a defect, and then to resolve that, you would have taken a lot of actions. And once it is resolved, you conduct retesting to make sure that it is fixed, and regression to follow that for any kind of side effects. But let's talk a little more about in detail with a proper approach to differentiate between retesting and regression testing. The first and foremost thing is retesting, which is mainly to confirm if a fix is effective or not. In simple terms, we can also say that once a particular defect is found and reported for resolution, the defect will be resolved by the concerned team. Once the defect is resolved, it's the responsibility of the tester to make sure that whether this fix is valid or not. That means the defect is actually resolved or not. And you rerun the same test case which revealed the defect to you. And rerunning that test case in order to find that the defect is now resolved, you call it as retesting or confirmation testing. Now that's a synonym of retesting which ISTQB makes use of. ISTQB says retesting is equal to confirmation testing, which is just to confirm a fix. Rerunning a test in order to confirm a fix is what we call it as retesting or confirmation testing. On the other side, we do have something called as regression testing, where regression testing is conducted once retesting passes. Now this defect, which is resolved, is confirmed with help of confirmation testing or retesting. But we do realize that to resolve the issue, the developer would have made any kind of modification to the code. He would have added something, he would have deleted something, or modified an existing line of code. In either of these cases, there is a possibility, not always mandatory, but yes, there is a possibility that this modification in the code, either adding, deleting, or modifying, he may have any side effect on the remaining part of the module or the application. Now, to just make sure that this change of the code does not have any impact on the unchanged part of the code is to run regression testing. Now, what do you do in regression testing? Other than the code, other than the test case which you just tested under retesting, you try to run all other test cases to make sure that they are still passing. Now, very simple and easy way to understand this and remember forever with an example and simple story. Now, for example, assume that one fine morning you get up to find that your cell phone is playing a song but the audio is not coming. That means you cannot hear it. Now, you being a technocrat yourself or more innovative, you try to set up some of the settings, try to check your volume key, silent mode, and several other things to check if there is something wrong which I can fix myself. So you try to tried to fix the issue there, but you still find it no positive. That means the cell phone is still playing a song, but no audio output. So the only option you have is visiting a service center. Now you went to the service center, the service guy also similarly tried with some of the setting options, but no positive sense again. So he said that, okay, fine, come back tomorrow, I'll try to fix this, maybe probably a hardware issue, and I'll get back to you and you can collect your phone. So now, the next morning, the service center guy gives you a call and says that, hey, your phone has been fixed with that issue of audio and you can come and collect it. When you reach the service center and he hands over the phone to you, the very first thing what you will do with your phone is playing a song or playing some kind of audio clip. Why? Because that was the defect reported to the service center team. And now, while playing the song, if you listen to the audio, that approach is what you call it as retesting or confirmation testing. Retesting is just that simple, that what you reported as an issue, the same thing is now being resolved. To confirm that is we conduct retesting or confirmation testing. The second part of it, just by playing the audio, you would not keep the phone in your pocket because he has opened your phone. He must have changed certain hardware or probably played around with your PCB of the cell phone. And there's a possibility during this, he might have impacted any other part of the cell phone. So, do you keep your phone directly in the pocket after playing a song? No. You have to check that your phone still has your data, still has your call records, or probably making a call, taking a picture to check your camera, and many other functions like that. Just random, some of the functions which you can do. But that is what you call it as regression testing. Is to just make sure that when developer was trying to resolve this issue, does that have any kind of side effect on the unchanged or part which does not have any issue already. So we rerun the other set of test cases than the retesting to make sure that everything else is still working fine and doesn't have any side effects. And that's what you call it as regression testing. So team, regression testing is also a good candidate of automation and can be performed in several other cases, but we will not be talking here more about that, so I don't want to make this video quite longer. We will get back to you with more details specifically about regression's scope. So that was all we had from retesting and regression testing in this tutorial. Should you have anything else, feel free to let us know by commenting below and I'll be there to address your queries and answer them well. Till then, keep learning, keep exploring and keep understanding the context. Thanks for watching the video team and happy learning.